So my question for you gentlemen, do we think this is going to be the start of the dog days for Joe Gibbs Racing?
Looks like it, doesn't it, sadly, as well. It's just, it seems to happen at least one point every year. They get into a bit of a slump, and then we all go, oh, here we go. And then it sort of gets to the end of the playoffs, and we go, yeah, okay, now they're starting to come back ever so slightly. But really bad day as well. I was so disappointed for Truex at the line. It's like I said to us, we were all saying in the group chat as well about it, and I said, just somebody push him. It's not allowed, obviously. You can't push anyone across the line, but I was just saying, just push him. He was inches across the line. It was something like 3 minutes it was scored at as his overall lap time at the end. But yeah, it was a bitter blow, unfortunately, as well. And Bell, it's back in ninth place as well. The highs and lows he's had in the first half of this season as well. And it does feel like we've come, doesn't it, to sort of the halfway stage of what we're experiencing, because we've finished now the Fox broadcast stuff and now we're going towards NBC for the second half of the season. So it feels like a natural point to sort of just stop, reflect and look back and sort of expect what we're going to have in the next couple of races before we get into September and the start for the playoffs. But not a great day for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Not a great day, like you said. I am a little bit more optimistic for Joe Gibbs Racing. One of the things with the summer stretch coming up is not as crazy as it is in the past, because we do have that break for the Olympics coming. So that could be a great opportunity. The big concern I do have is what happened with the engine. Denny Hamlin, no warning, no mistake. It blew. Last weekend, Christopher Bell. I'm pretty confident Toyota Racing Development, Joe Gibbs, are going to be evaluating, seeing if they can find any signs of improvement to their engine reliability, because this is just very uncharacteristic. Ty Gibbs, he is still learning. Made a big mistake today at the track. A lot of folks, I think, critical still of what he did yesterday. And Christopher Bell, he was just victim of the wrong place, wrong time when Josh Green went bowling into turn 11, taking out several vehicles, ruining their days. Overall, I feel Joe Gibbs Racing, they're still got the potential. They're still one of the big three. But it's just going to be so hard to see what happens in the summer stretch, because if they could turn it around, they're going to say, okay, Sonoma, that was just a one-time thing. Gateway, Christopher Bell, that was just one of those rare things. But if we exit Iowa and they have, again, bad engine issues, poor results, then I think we'll start talking about this could be a long summer stretch, but at least it got an Olympic break coming.
Yeah, 100%. And tragedy in what was supposed to be Toyota's home race, having joint title sponsorship for this event, and what was also one of the longest in time-wise, 9 cautions today, with 3 in stage 1 before the stage break. For reference, last year it was only 2, and that was a race without stage breaks. Record was 9 cautions back in 1990 when the road course experience was lacking by a lot of drivers. Stage 3, surprisingly caution-free until the aforementioned MTJ incident, which was coming to the checkered. Guys, are we surprised with how this race played out?
I shouldn't be surprised, but I was, just because we knew there was a repave, brand new pavement. We know what happens. But then just the way the race played out, it did catch me by surprise, just because it was like, okay, I thought we'll have a couple more cautions here or there, particularly with the grip, more aggressiveness. We saw that on the restarts, but I don't think it really played out as in the tire fall off like I anticipate. That seemed to be very straightforward. It seems once we got things going normal, then we had essentially that caution-free stage, the third stage, which bucks the trend where most of the races, stage 1 has been caution-free, the third stage, chaos. If Martin Truex Jr. didn't run out of gas, it would have been just straightforward. He'd be in second place, caution-free, third stage, but the race really did play out so differently that I think it really did mix up the strategy for a lot of teams. Joey Logano, tough break. He thought he was going to be smart, come through the field. His day got ruined when I believe Chase Briscoe spun around and collect him. But then you saw how it worked with AJ Allmendinger, where he came finish in the top 5 or top 10, I believe. There he is. Just missed the top 5 by 1 spot. So this race really played out in a way where it did surprise me. And I think a lot of folks, especially the teams, didn't anticipate with all these cautions.
I think it was better than COTA. If the only other road course event we've had this year as well on the Circuit of the Americas, because at COTA we were all going, well, this is incredibly boring, because we had, what was it, 60 laps in total, and it was just nothing happened. Barely any overtakes, nothing out there as well. 9 cautions gave us 10 starts in total with the original start. It gave us a lot of excitement to look at. Then it did quieten down, and by the time I actually got to properly sit down and keep a main eye on it as well, after finishing up with yourself, Jackson, on IndyCar, and then in Montreal as well for Canada, it was just quietening down. And I liked how the race was sort of changing in the last few moments as well. And we had 10 laps to go, and we had the top 4 all together still running up, and it was a smoother start as well. Didn't expect it. It was better than what we had in COTA to be close together. Yeah, the stage breaks, being back at the road courses this year as well. It some people like it, some people don't. I think it sort of helped proceedings today. And I definitely think as well, as you mentioned, Joe, the track surface being redone as well, it always changes racing. We saw it in Montreal today. The fact that the racing wouldn't have been as good in Formula One if it wasn't for the fact that the track had been resurfaced, and the lack of grip made that it was an exciting Grand Prix. We'll get more on that later. And the same kind of in Road America that's been done in parts as well with the resurface. So it's been a good weekend actually for close racing, and we've all pretty much lost our voices from what we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Good racing overall. And you bring up a good point with Circuits of Americas. I do think we know the flaws of this car is not exactly the greatest in road course racing compared to Xfinity Series. But I think the track also plays a role as well too. Circuits of America,
100%.
One of the big things, those runoffs, you could go feet and feet off the track. It's all pavement. Here, as soon as you screw up, it's dust and you're losing ground. Austin Cindric went for a ride up the hill, collecting air. So I do think the track, Sonoma, last few years with this car, nothing. This year, the repave, the aggression on those restarts. And like you said, that the way the strategy played out and the close racing we had, it was a pleasant surprise. I would like to see this continue, particularly Watkins Glen, which is going to be in the playoffs.
No, 100%. And Josh, we were chatting earlier about what it would take for us to get the Cup Series back to Road America, and Joe making a fantastic point there, because I don't know how those cars would act in such a harsh environment, especially if you're throwing a couple wheels off. Obviously, there's some runoff on some of the deeper braking areas, but if you're trying to, drop 2-3 wheels in the grass, you're digging a splitter into the grass, no problem.